Hey YouTube, Alan back with another package and pickups video, and unlike my last package and pickups video, hopefully this one will be less rant, more pickups. Yeah, not to be confused with, I don't know, computer type of pickups, but yeah, this is going to be more traditional. Here's something I got, here's something I wanted. Anyway, recently I was on the Retro Collect forums, great place for discussion, and also has a nice market. And there was a user there put up a thread of loads of stuff that basically would seem like they were clearing out a collection, and I've forgotten their name. I think it's Buster Boone, because I'm very pleased with the trade, and he deserves to get more of his stuff sold, because it seems like he wanted to get it cleared out, and the prices were largely fair, I thought. So I went through his list of stuff, and he had a bunch of games for the Sega Saturn, and there were Japanese games too, and I tend to pick up stuff more for the Japanese, more Japanese games for the Saturn than I do the PAL or the NTSC stuff, just because they tend to be cheaper. The games, a lot of them don't require really an understanding of English, or the English language isn't a major impact on it, and they come in a reasonable form factor, and it just, for the Saturn, it feels natural to go with Japanese stuff. So he put a lot of games up, and I said, can we do a bit of a deal on, a bit of a bundle and get them posted and whatnot, and I've now forgotten the price. But roughly the games were all very cheap. One of them was only a tiny bit more expensive, but I'll average the prices as we're going through, because I'm waffling, jeez. But anyway, first up, as it happens to be, oh, no, I don't have it with me. Where is it? It's over there. I'm not going to get it. The packaging was superb. Like, I was getting, basically these are CD games, so I wouldn't have been surprised for a jiffy bag, and I wouldn't have complained, because generally CDs are fine in that type of packaging. But this big box came, with fragile all over it, and I was thinking, God, have I got something from Ninja Bear or something? Was this the fragile tape? And it was a big box, and I was thinking, I didn't order that many games. And I opened it up, and there was a load of, well, it was peanuts, I hate those things, but to be fair, there was a lot of packaging inside it. Then there was bubble wrap around the games, and then the games themselves, as this one will indicate, are all in seals, pretty much. I was like, I actually sent your man, Buster Boone, a message kind of saying, wow, that was some packaging, that was absolutely crazy. As you probably glanced for the first one there, I may as well show it, it's Lemmings, because we've done enough packaging talk. So, who hasn't played or hasn't heard of the original Lemmings? This was quite cheap. I think it was £2, and I wouldn't have been going crazy after Lemmings. It wasn't really on a list to get. I have heard very mixed things about the 3D version. 2D one, I love the original. Wasn't as gone on the second, but at $2, I change currency in these videos like mad. It was £2. It was £2 sterling. At £2 sterling, I figure I'll give it a go. What they tried to do, I don't know if this will come out, is it's kind of like where you still execute stuff in 2D, but it's 3D perspective, and it's kind of like 3D chess, I guess, now that they've presented it. And it's still, give your lemmings to various powers to overcome the puzzles and whatnot. And if nothing else, I love the front cover. Stoned lemmings for the win. So that's the first one. Second one it's a shooter, and this is pretty much the only one with any damage on it. And it's because the case has got a little tear there. It's Thunderhawk 2. Got the spine card, and again sealed in this CD seal thing. Oh, seal thing. While I'm thinking of it, 2DK in his last or one of his recent pickups videos started going on about DVD cases. He tried to get these type of covers for the Master System, and of course Master System and Mega Drive games in Europe are just over twice the size of a standard DVD, and so if you get a DVD slip like this, it won't fit, it'll tear. And you can get double DVD ones, and they'll be fine. But to be honest, now as lovely as these are presented, especially for packaging, I'm not so sure that I really care to have these covers on them. I mean, you have a little tear strip that you tear off when you want to play, and it supposedly seals back down. but it's ultimately a sticky type adhesive, so I'd imagine that wears off over time. And these games, they're in plastic cases, same with the Master System ones, same with DVD ones, so they're relatively well protected anyway. If you want to put your case, or if you want to put your game in these things, go ahead. I don't particularly see any massive detriment. I know someone said maybe what about condensation, because basically moisture would get trapped. Maybe, but I don't think that's massive. Depending on where you store it, of course, that shouldn't be a massive issue. But I do think having them sealed like this would make me less likely to play the game, because I'd have to undo the seal, and when they're sealed away, I don't want to break the seal. So even though it's not a factory seal, I just don't really feel like undoing a seal. So I don't think I will leave them in these. Funny enough, I haven't taken them out yet because I see they're sealed. I want to leave them. Maybe that's just me crazy. Probably is, in fact. So anyway, Thunderhawk 2. It's a shooting game. Very, very cheap. Again, it was like £2 or £3. Now it looks like a helicopter fly around, shoot ships. Yeah, look, there's a helicopter. It's shooting. On the back, if you see the screenshots, there are ships. You joined the dots. But, ooh, look, 3D. And 1999 on the back too. It's 1999, but the game was made in 1996, so apparently something terrible was going to happen in 1999. Like maybe the death of the Saturn. But apparently for the price, this is actually a pretty decent game. Like the Saturn's got loads of tremendous shooters, and this is not one of them. But if you're looking for a cheap, blaster title, worth trying out, I heard. So I said, okay, I'll give it a go. Now, next up is a game I do know I love, but I have never played this version, and that is Wipeout. Now, I'm sure most people know Wipeout. It's, I guess you'd call it a PlayStation classic. Very early title on the system, set the system apart. This is the Saturn version, missing some of the transparency effects, but it's a futuristic racer. I love, actually, funny enough, it's the only title in this lot that doesn't have English in the spine. Japanese on both sides. Generally you have English on one side and Japanese on the other side, which is very handy for importers. But yeah, I absolutely love the PlayStation version, so I'm curious to see how this one compares. Now, obviously Wipeout 2097, better game, but definitely want to see how this one works. Oh, I think that was £4, or around that. Now, next up is a genre that the Saturn is absolutely swamped in, and this is not a standout one, but I don't really want to say filler, but it's a series that I've never tried. I've heard about before and thought, at £2, why not try this one? And it is, what the hell is it called? Oh yeah, Toshinden Ura. So it's the Saturn, I think it's a Saturn exclusive version in the series, because there is an original Toshinden on the Saturn as well. And so basically it's your 3D fighter. And it's one of those cases again where, front of the box, Japanese game, all English text. So you have the ultimate revenge attack. He speaks little, for this man possessed with desire for revenge. Words have no meaning, none. Emotion, hope for the future, all gone and meaningless. The only motivation remaining for him is that of revenge, burning deep in his soul. I'm ad-libbing some of this, by the way. The man whose name is Ripper, who does he fight for? He now prepares to face the ultimate battle to death. So that's Toshinden Ura. Moving on, back to racing, back to PlayStation land really in a way, and it's the original Destruction Derby. This one I remember so much seeing it back in the day. Again, I always, hey, wait a second, this one actually also doesn't have, never mind, I lied, this one has no English on the spine either. So obviously these Psygnosis games, they were just going straight out Japanese. So yeah, Bash Cars Up. I remember this being a big deal on the PlayStation back in the day. Saturn got a port. Again, I'm really curious how this compares. I do have Destruction Derby on the PlayStation 1, but the disc is quite scratched and it doesn't really play it. Something I've been meaning to replace when I can. So, back to the Saturns for, kind of premier genre nearly, with something that's often derided as being a terrible game. And as such, I really, really want to find out if it's as bad as people say it is, and I suspect it's not. And that is Street Fighter Real Battle on Film. I think this was £3 or £4 as well. So you got Capcom, they do us good, they put a bit of English on the spine. And on the back there we go, you know what this is, it's Street Fighter. It's Street Fighter the movie, the game. Based on the movie, movie, So yeah, whoever thought this was a good idea was a marketing man who thought, you know what, we can make a game based on the movie, based on the game, and they'll buy the same game basically twice with a new skin. Ha 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 ha. Aren't we great? And they were probably right, because, hey, look, I did. But yeah, I suspect that although the digitized graphics will probably be a bit pants and have aged poorly, the game itself will probably be reasonably solid. After all, it is based on the Street Fighter engine. So, we get to the final item, and this one's not sealed. I could play it! No, I can't, because it requires a peripheral that I don't have yet. And it was £8, this game. It's a bit unusual, I think. It's also a game in the Ghouls and Ghosts series. And I was not aware of it until very recently. It is Incredible Toons, as they call it, Nazo Makaimorai, because Makaimorai is the name in Japan for Ghouls and Ghosts. So, but they handily again put Capcom. Never do me wrong on this one. Incredible Toons. So apparently this is a puzzle game where you have to do stuff with the Sega mouse. That's about as far as I know. But I'm really intrigued, and it's funny that I'm intrigued when I know so little. And look, it's in great condition as well. Here's the manual. Art on the back, looking confused, probably as confused as I am, or I will be when I look through this. So there's a load of items. So basically, you have all the objects, and from what I understand, this is a point and click style puzzler, but you can use a controller. So you can either use a controller or you can use a Sega mouse. I have a funny feeling this is going to be better played with the mouse, because it's basically drag a cursor around and click stuff, which screams I would rather use a mouse. But I'm not too sure how English friendly this is. We got some artwork, cool artwork there. I'm hoping once you kind of play a level or two, you kind of get the gist of it, because as I said, for some reason it just appealed to me, and I hadn't heard of it before or whatever. And I normally, for the Saturn stuff, I do a little research on how English friendly it is or whatever, but fingers crossed in this one. But at the end of it was only £8, so it wasn't exactly a big expenditure. But there we go. There's a nice Saturn set to add to the collection. It's grown really nice. I'm really pleased with the Saturn collection right now. There's all the spines, most of them in English, except for those damn Psygnosis ones, which are strange because they're actually from an English company. Yeah, really pleased with the Saturn collection. Great little system to pick up for. It hasn't gone crazy like other systems have. I think it'll probably go through the roof too. I mean, yes, some of the expensive games, the treasure shooters and whatnot, cave shooter, of course they're going crazy. That's natural. They have a very niche fan base and very devoted, kind of like the RPGs as well. Panzer Dragoon and whatnot. Saga, that's crazy. But yeah, enough waffle. Happy with the collection. Happy with some pickups. Hey, I wanted to buy those. All's good in the world again. We're back to normal pickup glory. See you again soon.